which had been the practice for years, that you sold arms if you, and it is today. You can buy arms all over the place by providing the money. The Republic did not call for volunteers. The Republic needed only to have the arms, and they felt that they could repel. Even when they found out it was the fascists who were supporting the junta, they loved their Republic so much they were willing to sacrifice and try to beat the fascists. And so it comes to pass that Caballero, seeing that he couldn't buy the arms, he thought of the idea of calling for an international brigade, and he let the international brigade come across the border from France with two purposes in mind. Number one, he thought that if ordinary people came from these countries, they could influence their governments to change from a policy of appeasement to one of actively fighting fascism. And secondly, he got automatically, because there had always been a draft in Europe, he automatically got men who were soldiers, who were trained, and those who volunteered automatically became leaders in the militias and later in the armed forces of the Spanish government. So how do you get volunteers to come to Spain? It poses a problem. In democratic countries, they don't want you recruiting people to go fight somewhere else. Matter of fact, they make it illegal for you to do that. The world in 1936 was mostly colonies. Latin America, Asia, the Middle East, the Far East were cut up and owned by the imperialists. How can you get recruits? It is our opinion, we don't have a paper trail for it, that, and we know that it has to be so, that Caballero approached the Comintern. And he said to them, look, we would like you to recruit men and women to come fight in Spain, but this is not to be a Bolshevik revolution, and you are not to recruit only communists. We will not permit it. And so that all of the recruiting agents in the United States, it was the Communist Party, were told that this is what they had to do. And I can tell you from my own experience and from what we know about the Americans who went across, there were 2,800 Americans, men and women, who finally volunteered to go fight in Spain. And of them, about 60% were members of the Communist Party. We had socialists, we had Zionists, we had trade unionists. The committee, I know, tried to get a larger grouping than the 60% to go across, and were not able to do it at the time. But, you know, it's not an easy thing to go recruit people and tell them to go die. You have to have some kind of a motivation. And the motivation lay mostly in the left. Why? Because the left, and I include the socialists, the Trotskyists, everybody else, we had read Hitler, Mein Kampf, or about Mein Kampf, and we knew he was out to conquer the world, and we knew that if the policy that was initiated in Spain of not fighting fascism, but appeasing fascism continued, there would be World War II. And in letter after letter, you find the Americans writing home, saying that to their neighbors, their friends, their political associates, and so on. We must stop fascism here. If we don't, there will be World War II. As a matter of fact, Horton Mifflin published a book of those letters, and the book is 600 pages long and doesn't include all of the letters, and almost every one of them is saying the same thing. Now, you can say we were brainwashed and so on and so forth. I don't think that's true. We understood that if fascism won in Spain, you would have World War II. And my gosh, you know, life is what it is, and it proved we were right. And can you imagine a world which would not have had World War II? There's speculation what could have happened. Faced with a two-front war, we don't think Hitler would have started a war. Or if he did, he would have been shortchanged quickly, put out of business. In any case, it didn't happen that way, and World War II resulted, and the misery, and so on. Am I running past my time? I want to leave you time for you guys to ask questions, and that's why I want to make it as brief as possible. Yes, we fought, and we fought honorably well. We Americans didn't have a draft, and fortunately for us, when we got across, which was 6 months later, the rebellion is July of '36. The attack of Franco against his own country starts in September, and Madrid is defended like mad by the people of Madrid. In January of 1937 is when we Americans got across. It took that long, organization and so on and so forth. By that time, the border had been closed. The 96 Americans left on one ship, the first batch, on Christmas Day, 1936. And they crossed the border in a train. I didn't get there until February, and I had to go over the mountain. I had to climb the Pyrenees. That's a rough business. We used to have a song about it. I got time to sing a little song. Oh, the border is closed, and the gods are there. Oh, pray, what can we do? It's plain to see our task must be to climb the Pyrenees. Honey, 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 little eyes, I love you, honey, little eyes, I love you. Love you in the springtime and in the fall. Little eyes, I love you, little eyes, I love you best of all. One more verse. Oh, a longshoreman was Joey Sands. He handled bananas from all the lands. He's here in Spain with but one thought in mind, to shove a banana up Franco's behind, honey.